Rating books might seem simple, but there's a whole process behind it, at least for me. Let me take you inside my whole book rating process, and I'll even include some examples for each star rating. Hi, my name is Kate, and I am brand new to BookTube and YouTube, so if you like what you see, I'd appreciate you interacting in some sort of way. Subscribe, comment, like, and I'd love to make some new friends who like to read like me. And today I figured I'd show you how I rate my books, because I feel like that's the best way to get to know another reader, is to see what else they rated 5 stars, to see if you kind of have some of the same opinions and stuff. So let's get into it. So first, with a 1 star, I was looking back in my past books and I only have one rated 1 star, and that's just because I didn't finish it. I normally force myself to finish books, but I told myself recently that if you don't want to finish the book, you don't have to, because why waste your time? My 1 star book was The Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and that's just because I couldn't get into it. It just wasn't interesting to me, and I feel so bad when I rated 1 star, but it just wasn't for me. Maybe it just was at that time, but that was the only book I rated 1 star because I didn't finish it. When I rate something 1 star, it just means that I didn't finish it. And now for my 2 star ratings, that's usually that I didn't like it. I wouldn't suggest that you read it. I just didn't think anything of it, and I really didn't like it at all. So some examples for that for me are Wreck the Halls and The Paris Apartment. I don't know why I couldn't get into these books. It just means that I think you should skip them and they're not worth your time to read. Now, I like The Guest List by Lucy Foley, which I know some people don't, but The Paris Apartment just wasn't for me. So if I didn't like a book that I finished, I'll rate it 2 stars. Now 3 stars I rate more often, and that normally means that I liked the book and I would recommend you read it to form your opinion, but it just was not memorable to me. It didn't have anything amazing that happened, in my opinion. It was just a story told from start to finish. And while I enjoyed myself and I would say still read them, they didn't stick in my mind, and nothing over the top happened about them. And some examples of those for me, again, this is for my opinion, what I rated 3 stars is Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney, Suicide House by Charlie Donnelly, Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose, 9 Lives by Peter Swanson. Obviously, I have a lot more 3 stars. I just can't list them all, but it just basically means take it or leave it. You'll probably enjoy your time while you're reading it, but it just won't stick with you after, in my opinion. So that's when I rate a book 3 stars. Now for 4 stars, I would say probably 75% of the books that I read, I rate 4 stars, just because I'm easy to please. If you have a twist in there, I'm gonna rate it 4 stars, especially if I was like unexpected twist, that type of thing. If I enjoyed the book, I would recommend the book. I probably would buy the book if I bought a lot of books. That's what I would rate 4 stars. So some examples of that for me are Big Little Lies by Liane Moriarty, Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I know a lot of people rated that 5 stars, but it was okay for me. I liked it, but I like other World War II stories better. It's Taken by Charlie Donnelly. I've really gotten into Charlie Donnelly's books lately, so a lot of those ones I rated 4 stars. Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney. I was really shocked by the twist, so that's why I rated it 4 stars. My Dark Vanessa I remember really liking, so that was 4 stars. Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I rated Yours Truly 5 stars, so that just kind of shows the difference. I liked Part of Your World. It just wasn't life-changing for me, but I did really enjoy it and recommend that you read it. And Remarkably Bright Creatures, I really like that one too. Again, it was like one that I really enjoyed reading. It just didn't give me that extra oomph that it takes to get a 5 star. So moving on to the 5 stars, I don't rate books 5 stars very often. It has to give me what I call the 5 star feeling. Like I have to either cry, I have to squeal, I have to just be like, drop the book on the floor, shocked. Just some sort of, like, sometimes they give me heart palpitations. Anything that just like blows my mind, that will get a 5 star. So some examples of those are The Things We Cannot Say by Kelly Rimmer, The Change by Kirsten Miller, which if you watched my favorite videos, you'll see that that was my favorite read of 2024. The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I Let You Go by Claire McIntosh. Bright Side by Kim Holden. Now this one's funny. I had this on my TBR for like 10 years and I finally read it, I think, in 2023, and I was sobbing. It's such a good book. I recommend that you check it out. No one really talks about it because I think it's pretty. Heartless by Marissa Meyer. Now that one was interesting to me and I just really enjoyed it, so I rated it 5 stars. The Secret Keeper by Kate Morton. That's probably one of my favorite books. I've read it a long time ago, but I rated it 5 stars. It really stuck with me. Again, this was one of those World War II dramas that I liked a little bit better than The Nightingale. It just, the twist was pretty shocking to me and I really enjoyed that. And Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. I think that was the first like jaw-dropping twist that I read when I got into reading, and so that's why I rated it 5 stars. So those are my examples of 5 stars. I have to get that 5-star feeling where I'm just shocked or crying or happy or just some sort of emotion that brings it out of me. And honestly, I think the timing of the book really plays into it. Like The Change that I read, because I read it during the US election, I think that was why I rated it so high. It's just the time that I read it was like I was meant to read it at that time. So that's why I got 5 stars. I'm also the type that once I rate it, I won't change my rating because I tell myself that's how you felt when you finished it. So stick with your answer, don't change it. So I'm the type that I won't change it. I know a lot of people like to change their rating because they go back and think, oh, maybe it was better or maybe it was worse. I never change my ratings. I just leave it how I thought when I finished it, and that's just what I do. Now, there are some books that I won't rate. I don't like rating nonfiction books, especially like biographies or memoirs, because who am I to rate what happened in someone's life? I just don't like rating it. I know I read Know Your Name and some other books. I just don't like to rate them because I just feel like my opinion shouldn't matter when it comes to someone's life. I will really like the book, but I don't like to rate nonfiction books. I'd be curious how other people do their ratings. I know that there's other, like Goodreads won't let you do like a 0.5 or 0.25, whereas other reading trackers will. And I've recently started using those just to be able to rank my books at the end of the year. Sometimes I want to be able to like literally rank every single book. So if I put the 0.5, it'll just tell myself, okay, if it's 3.5, it's a little better than a 3. But I only just started using the 0.5 system. So I'm curious what other people do. I used to be very strict on like 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5. But now I've started using like those 0.5 stars systems. I'm curious what you do. Let me know what you think, if you agree with this or don't agree with it. I'm curious whether you change your ratings afterwards or if you keep them the same. Let me know what you think. And again, if you liked today's video, please hit subscribe and I'll see you next time.